There are three main ways to start a car with a dead battery. The right method depends on what tools you have, jumper cables or a portable jump pack, and whether you're driving an automatic or a manual transmission. Drivers often share their experiences, saying that in this situation, there are usually no indicator lights and no clear signs. They just turn the key and the car doesn't start, and I don't agree with that. I tell them to pay more attention to their car because every serious failure starts with negligence and small symptoms that get ignored. You can watch some of our videos that discuss no crank, no start conditions. The link is in the description. There are only 3 safe and effective ways to start a car with a dead battery. Which one works best depends on 2 things: the type of transmission your car has and the tools available at the moment. In an emergency, the option you know can be the difference between getting home or being stuck on the side of the road. Before we get into the methods, safety comes first. Never touch jumper cable clamps together while they're connected to power. Never jumpstart a battery that's cracked, leaking, or frozen. And always remove loose clothing or jewelry before working near the engine. If you find this information useful, take a second to share it. It might help someone else get out of an emergency when their car suddenly won't start. So, here are 3 methods for how to start a car with a dead battery. Method 1. Jump starting with jumper cables. This is the most common method. To do this safely, you'll need jumper cables and a second car with a good battery. Before connecting anything, set both cars up correctly. Park them close enough for the cables to reach, but make sure they never touch. If the vehicles touch, you can create an unintended ground path, which increases the risk of sparks or electrical damage during the jump. Turn both engines off. Open the hood on the car with the dead battery first, then the donor car, so you can identify the battery and plan your cable routing safely. Here, you'll notice the battery terminals. The positive terminal is marked with a plus sign and is usually red. The negative terminal is marked with a minus sign and is usually black. This next part really matters. The connection sequence controls where the current flows and helps prevent sparks. Remember this rule: red to dead, red to good. Start by connecting the red clamp to the positive terminal on the dead battery. Then connect the other red clamp to the positive terminal on the good battery. After that, connect the black clamp to the negative terminal on the good battery. For the final connection, clamp the cable to a solid metal ground on the dead car. A clean bolt or the engine block works well. This keeps sparks away from the battery and provides a safe grounding path. The final connection should not go to the negative battery terminal. It must go to a solid engine or chassis ground. Once everything is connected, move to the next step. Start the donor car and let it run for a couple of minutes. This stabilizes the voltage before you crank the dead car. Now try starting the car with the dead battery. If it starts, don't rush. Give the electrical system a few seconds to stabilize. Then disconnect the cables in reverse order to avoid voltage spikes. Start with the black cable connected to the ground on the dead car. Next, remove the black cable from the good battery. Then remove the red cable from the good battery. And finally, remove the red cable from the dead battery. At this point, keep the engine running. Drive the car for at least 15 to 20 minutes. That gives the alternator enough time to recharge the battery properly. Method 2. Portable Jump Starter Pack. A portable jump starter is a self-contained battery pack designed to start your car without needing another vehicle. They come in different sizes. Some are compact, like a big power bank. Others are larger, with higher power output. Choose one rated for your vehicle's engine size, so it can deliver enough current when you need it. Once you know what you're working with, the setup is straightforward. Before connecting anything, make sure the jump starter is fully charged and turned off. This prevents accidental sparking when the clamps make contact. Start with the red clamp. Connect it to the battery's positive terminal. Next, connect the black clamp. You can attach it to the battery's negative terminal or to a clean metal ground. With a portable jump starter, it's safe to connect the black clamp directly to the negative terminal. The unit delivers controlled power, so the risk of sparking is much lower than using another vehicle. But using a solid ground point is still the safer and recommended option. Once both clamps are secure, turn the jump starter on. Check the indicator light. In most cases, a green light on the jump starter means the unit is ready to deliver power. Now start the car normally. Once the engine fires, don't wait. Turn the jump starter off immediately. When the engine starts, the alternator begins producing voltage right away. If the jump starter stays connected and powered on, that voltage can flow backward into the pack. That backfeed can overheat the jump starter, damage its internal circuitry, or shorten its lifespan. Shutting the unit off right away isolates the pack and protects it from the vehicle's charging system. Then remove the clamps in the correct order. Black clamp first, then the red clamp, just like with jumper cables. Keep the engine running afterward. The jump starter only provides power to start the engine. It does not recharge the battery. Method 3. Push starting. Manual transmission only. This method only works if you drive a manual transmission, or what most people call a stick shift. Never try this on an automatic. It will not work and can damage the transmission. You can find the link to that video in the description. First, position the car safely. You want a clear, open area with no traffic. A gentle downhill slope is ideal because it helps the car gain speed without too much effort. Now get the car ready. Sit in the driver's seat and turn the key to the on position. Do not turn it to start. This powers the fuel pump, ignition system, and engine computer, so the engine can fire when it spins. Next, press the clutch pedal all the way in and shift the transmission into second gear. Second gear is important. It reduces the shock to the drivetrain and makes it easier for the engine to catch compared to first gear. Now it's time to get the car moving. Have 1 or 2 people push the car from behind or let it roll downhill. Once the car reaches about 5 to 10 miles per hour, you're ready for the next step. Here's the critical moment. Quickly release the clutch while giving the engine a small amount of throttle. This forces the wheels to spin the engine. If everything is working, the engine will cough, sputter, and then start running. As soon as the engine starts, press the clutch back in immediately. This prevents the car from jerking forward or stalling. Let the engine idle for a moment so it can stabilize. Once it's running smoothly, keep the engine on. Drive normally and avoid shutting it off right away. Just like a jump start, this method gets the engine running, but it does not recharge a dead battery. If the car still doesn't start, pay attention to what you hear. What the car does at this point gives you important clues. If you hear rapid clicking when you turn the key, the starter is getting power, but not enough to crank the engine. In most cases, this isn't a bad starter. It's usually a weak or poor connection. Check the jumper cables or clamps first. One loose or dirty connection can block current, even if everything looks connected. If the car starts but dies as soon as you remove the cables or jump pack. That points to a charging problem. Once the engine is running, the alternator should supply power and keep the car alive. If it doesn't, the battery is running the car alone, and it drains immediately. That means the alternator may not be charging properly. If you need a jump every time you drive, the battery itself is no longer healthy. It can accept power, but it can't store it. At that point, jump starting is only a temporary fix. Replacing the battery is the only real solution. Starting a car with a dead battery isn't about luck. It's about safety, correct connections, and doing things in the right order. Get one step wrong, and you can damage parts or put yourself at risk. If this guide helped you get back on the road, share it with someone who might need it. Subscribe to AutoFix Problem for more clear, mechanic-style tutorials you can trust.